Adar and his army march on Ostirith. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'll be reviewing Rings of Power Episode 6. So, the Rings of Power returns this week with an episode big on action, but low on logic. There are some visually stunning scenes in here, like the final 5 minutes with that big volcano erupting and the cloud coming out, closing in on the village, was great looking. But then we come to the writing, and everything falls apart in this episode. So we have Elendil telling Muriel on the ship that it will take 2 days to get to the Vale. It'll take a day to sail into the mountains and then a day to ride into the Vale. And this is after the opening scene where Arondir destroys the entire tower with one rope, where it's holding the watchtower with the fire on it up. Like he hits the rope and the whole thing, and it takes forever for the stupid thing to fall. It literally takes forever for that. They drew that out real bad. And he beats the little legion of orcs. Like, how is this a legion? I'm like, I don't know how big legions are, but, I don't think anybody's going to survive in that place. And we see that we're wrong. And we do get a scene where Isildur meets Galadriel, and she talks to him about humility. And I'm just like, what? Wait, what? She's trying to teach somebody about humility, and she's like, ooh, wait until you see what happens in this episode. She's like, wow, on another level of like, is she good or is she not? I'm like, really? Yeah, so that scene was very out of place in this, especially for the way Galadriel has been played. And mind you, Galadriel's like over 6 foot tall. And we have a character that is playing her that's not that height, which not really a big deal, but at the same time, it kind of is, especially when she should be taller than pretty much everybody else, and she's not. But then we get Galadriel and the others arriving like the next night or day at the village. But let's talk about, and which doesn't make sense, right? But let's talk about Arondir taking everybody out of the well-fortified guard tower. Like, they could have probably defended this guard tower for a little bit to give the army enough time to get there, And did nobody else see the watch fire, Because normally when you light that, like in the Return of the King and everything, and or was it the Two Towers? I can't remember. I apologize. But, like, all the other beacons all the way through lit, and they were like, oh, my God, we got to go to war now, like, these people need help. So that's very odd that we just get a fire going and there's, it's not going to do anything. But, yeah, he takes them out of this guard tower to fight in the village in a wooden tavern, you know what I mean? Like, get everybody locked up in there. And this is super easy to stop because they're just counting on people coming down the road instead of coming out of the trees and around it. You know what I mean? And we see that it kind of backfires because he gets ambushed at one point on the roof, and he gets taken down, and then he's got to fight a big giant dude. But again, the poor writing in this is where we get like teleporting armies and logistics that really don't add up in this. As we see later on again. And the number of repurposed scenes from the Two Towers is crazy. Like, one of the scenes they do is the Helm's Deep scene where it's complete with all the torches on the horizon. And another scene, just to really kind of name two, is the Eastern Eastlands being similar to Rohan in that the villagers are tasked with fighting. I mean, it's like, they literally ripped these scenes right out of the movie, and there's more scenes than that, which is crazy. But on like a more of a positive note too, though, Adar in this was the standout character. He is easily one of the best in this show, and the idea of adding orc morality into the fold is kind of cool. But I mean, that's where like really everything ends. And at the same time as they're showing this guy being like really kind of he just wants a home for his orcs, you know, to making Galadriel look even more evil than she already like seems, and it's really kind of sad and amusing how she almost deletes Adar after telling Halbrand he can't do it. Like, it's really kind of weird that they would do this, right? And then they're trying to ship her and Halbrand. I mean, like, one scene, they literally look at each other, and if they hadn't gotten interrupted, I kind of feel like they probably would have kissed. But I'm pretty sure Galadriel is married to Celeborn at this time. Because she's supposed to be like 1,200 years old or more in this. So, at least in the Second Age, from what I've read. But she's supposed to be married. So I'm like, how do you ship it off to this dude if she's already got a husband? Or does that not, like, matter anymore? Like, is you know, marriage and stuff and just being monogamous with somebody not even in anybody's vocabulary anymore? It's, like, really kind of weird. But the final scene in this is actually absolutely stunning. Like, but it doesn't really make sense. Like, we get all this water rushing down into a volcano, and it makes the volcano erupt. And the eruption and everything looks awesome in this. Really does. And the cloud coming in as Galadriel is standing there looking at it was visually stunning. It really was. But I'm like, wouldn't you need more water to make this volcano really kind of erupt? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, leave a comment down below and let me know, like, if you would really need more water. Because I feel like you would. Especially when, you know, it's going way down into a volcano and all of a sudden just go boom after having, like, maybe a couple thousand gallons jumped into it. I would think there need to be more. But anyways, the sets looked great. Like, again, the scenery in this and the places that they go look great. The armor was okay looking. I mean, I feel like they probably would have been a little more armored up, especially being Númenóreans. They should have, you know, maybe some better armor, like Galadriel's armor, and that doesn't make sense that she got her armor back after she left it with the elves. I mean, that's kind of weird. And the volcano scene, again, looked great. Again, Adar was the standout in this episode. I would honestly give this episode, 5.5. I want to say 6 because of Adar, but I'm going to go with 5.5 because I think this was the worst episode out of all 6 so far. Again, you have, like, teleporting armies. They're supposed to take 2 days to get there. Yet they're getting there, I don't even know if it's less than a day or not. So it's really kind of weird how the time passage in this. So if you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and subscribe. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Let me know a little more about the lore, because, again, I have no clue where any of this lore is coming from, and I've only read the first 30 pages of Silmarillion and not any of the other books, like the Untold Tales. So let me know some more lore down below. I would appreciate that. Guys, have a great day.